Hello and welcome to the latest episode of The Hex with Armand Kafai and Daniel Robertson. No John Arnold today. He is with his family
That
in,
intro is a little weird without the John Arnold part, huh?
yeah, he's in Italy right now. Congrats to John on a spring break trip. He's missing maybe the biggest week. Is he a CONCACAF fraud? He's
I
missing.
mean, yeah, he can't watch the games. It'll be like 4 a.m. or something over there, right?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be up for
I
those.
guess he
Just
won't be getting CONCACAFeinated.
he would need to be because yeah, I couldn't stay up for
That
that San
Wednesday
Diego.
slate. I mean,
I
we'll
couldn't
we'll
stay up
talk
for that
about
San
it.
Diego Toluca game that started at 10:30 Dallas time.
It didn't
Uh
start at 10:30. It started like at 10:40 or something.
yeah, yeah,
It was
later
even
than
later.
10:30.
I remember I woke up next day like for work and my eyes were like, "You're an
I'm
idiot. Why'd you
tired.
do this?"
Well, we've got six topics to talk about on the Hex this week. We've got MLS, CONCACAF Champions Cup, hot seat, and we've got the U.S. Men's National Team World Cup jersey. So let's get into it. Armand, it was a not the sexiest slate of MLS games this last weekend. There was nothing that really stood out like, oh man, I gotta watch this one. Turned out to be a pretty fun weekend though. Overall, lots of goals. I think five games had six goals or something like that.
Game winners, game tying goals late too.
Yeah, there was a couple of touchdowns put on the board by some teams. So, who is your MLS winner of week number 4?
To me, it's Nashville, Daniel, and I'll tell you why. I mean, we've been talking so much about Nashville and how they've been playing, but this win against Columbus was just a gritty result. Columbus had 0.22 expected goals in this game against a team like Nashville, who played a really tough first leg in a rainstorm against Miami in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. They rotated some guys in there, and they were able to pull off a result, a win, which
Yeah.
not many CONCACAF teams did, right? I mean, the Galaxy lost to SKC at home.
Eh,
San Diego couldn't drew FC Dallas. There was a couple of
Miami.
other results there.
Miami didn't win either.
Philadelphia lost against Atlanta. I think said
Yeah.
Miami drew Charlotte. So it's not as easy just to win games. And Nashville did it with strong rotation, which a lot of the other teams did, but maybe didn't have similar results against a Columbus team that I think should be better, but hasn't really shown the fruits of their labor so far. I'm getting a little worried about them, even though it's only 4 games in. But I'm impressed because these are the results. You look at LAFC as well too. These are the results that you need to kind of grind out. Okay, it's the beginning of the year, like to just build momentum, build quality results, so you can kind of bank it. Like let's say Nashville beats Miami, or LAFC beats Alajuelense. You can bank those points that you kind of gritted out and maybe add some rotation later on in the later stages of the Champions Cup. So for me, is Nashville. They kept their style. Espinoza on that goal was freaking awesome. What a signing he's been. I've absolutely loved watching Nashville play. So for me, it's Nashville. I don't know about you.
I'm not ready yet to anoint Nashville. I think there's a couple things we got to look at though, Armand. I think Nashville has played a very easy schedule. Okay, we have to say that, right?
Oh, soft schedule, huh?
They've played New England, Dallas, Minnesota, Columbus. Okay, they've gotten the results. So, credit to them. They're 3-0-1. They're top of the table in the Eastern Conference, tied for the top. So I'll give them credit on that. But I do think they are still being proven like to be kind of one-dimensional. If it doesn't seem that Surridge, like they're relying on individual moments of brilliance right now, which is okay. But again, like you said, look, not everyone got results. Getting a result in between CONCACAF games, as someone who dabbles in the betting space, you're always looking to fade teams that are playing in between those CONCACAF games, right? So you don't ask how the points come, you just tally them up at the end of the year. And my winner of the week is the other CONCACAF team that got a result in MLS this week, in the Seattle Sounders. They went to, and this is kind of the entire week. Okay, they went to Vancouver, got that who saw that coming? A 3-0 win on the road against a Vancouver team that trucked who did they
Minnesota.
beat? Minnesota. They put a touchdown on them, destroyed them this weekend. Minnesota was non-competitive, but Seattle they beat them 3-0. They go to San Jose. And I told you, because we went to the IndyCar race on Sunday morning. I told you, oh, San Jose is a team I'm probably going to target for a bet tonight. Forgot to place it. Thank God that I did, because Seattle won that game 1-0. They rode their luck, Armand. I don't know if you got a chance
Andrew
to watch.
Thomas was great in that game. I thought To be honest, I thought San Jose played really well.
I did too. I did too. 17 corners to 0 for San Jose. Seattle rode their luck, and I think this was a game though. But they got 3 points, right? At the end of the day, they have shutouts in 4 out of their 5 matches between MLS and CONCACAF. And to me, you mentioned the name Andrew Thomas, and that's exactly who I wrote down in my notes because you have to give a lot of credit to Brian Schmetzer, who has never won Coach of the Year in MLS, which is shocking to me.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, right? And I think this was a talking point. Maybe Matt Doyle wrote about it in his season preview. He's never won Coach of the Year. This might be the year, even if it's an emeritus award for Brian Schmetzer, because Seattle is missing Pedro de la Vega, Jordan Morris, all of these names missing, and they're just getting it done. Pushing Stephen Fry to the bench for Andrew Thomas this year. This is the guy that won you MLS Cup. This is the guy that's been your goalie for 10 years. Andrew Thomas, he knew right when to push the button. He's been fantastic. Areola back for them has been very important. Jackson Reagan might be the front runner for Defender of the Year right now with what they're doing. And it doesn't matter, like you said with Nashville, how you get the points, what you do. Seattle got 3 more points in a ultra competitive Western Conference to get those 3 points, Armand, before a big CONCACAF game next week. I mean, huge for them too.
I was surprised you didn't mention one of the names, Jesus Ferreira. He had that great pass to Paul Rothrock, and he had, I think 2 assists in the game against Vancouver as well to Paul Areola. Like, he's been absolutely excellent to start the year.
And it's not surprising, right, that it took him a year when you've been living in Dallas, playing in Dallas your whole life. Your first job.
Yeah, his first kid too last year too.
Yep, your first job outside of your hometown, right? It takes a year to adapt, and it feels like now he's taking on that responsibility. Speaking of Jesus Ferreira, his former team, FC Dallas, they had a wildly entertaining 3-3 draw with San Diego at Toyota Stadium on Saturday night. We both watched a lot of this game, and while FC Dallas, they kind of struggled to a point against a San Diego team that played Toluca midweek. Obviously, they have another huge game in midweek. We saw Petar Musa get a hat trick, all 3 goals for FC Dallas, to go tied with Brian White at the top of the MLS scoring charts. He has 5 goals of the 6 that FC Dallas has scored this season. He's a joy to watch. First off, where does Petar Musa rank for you among MLS forwards?
I mean, for me, he has to be
Player of the week
1
as well. By the way, MLS Player of the Week today as well.
I mean, absolutely fantastic player. I mean, for me, he's number 1.
The best forward in the league.
I have him over Surridge because Surridge has Hani Mukhtar. Mm-hmm. That's the determining thing. It's really interesting. So, Dana, I told you I was compiling a couple of numbers right before this. So, since he joined the league in 2024, Dallas, they've relied so much on Petar Musa. It's been absolutely incredible. And keep in mind, the beginning of his tenure at Dallas, he actually struggled a little bit. Yep. I mean, there's a few things in play with that. One, I think he has his child during that time, so that's going to play a role. And 2, he was acclimating to America. He came from Europe. You have to acclimate. There's an acclimation period for all of these players.
Yeah,
exactly. So when it comes,
and I think also his confidence was low. He wasn't. He went to Dallas for a reason, right? Like you don't leave Benfica because you were just banging.
Yeah, because you're the guy. Exactly. So ever since he's joined Dallas, he has the 5th highest share of a single player of their expected goals plus their expected assists in MLS. And Dallas doesn't produce that much to begin with. So that number is even magnified even further. For me, again, the work he does on and off the ball, I think is incredible. You see him go super deep and win balls. You see him defending corners because with how tall he is, he can win those. And you see him, I've seen him, I think the only goal that he didn't score was when he played that long ball to Logan Farrington.
That's right.
And the 2 defenders ran into each other, and then he scored. He's doing everything. I mean, he is... I don't know where his team would be without Petar Musa. For me, D-Rob, he is the best forward in MLS. And I said this on Blue Sky. He is the definition of a player. You know how in NBA circles they talk about, well, he may not be the MVP, but he's without them, he is the definition of the most valuable player.
Like a Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, exactly. The team would be nothing without him. Dallas, I don't know where Dallas would be without Petar Musa. I would probably have him closer to wooden spoon, if anything.
Well, yeah, and we'll get to that in a second. It doesn't make for great podcast content, but as I was running down the list, and obviously like you can list, Messi as a forward or whatever you want, but I think we're talking about like number nines here. We're talking
Yeah,
about
like
target
actual forwards, pure
pure
forwards.
target forwards. And when you think of the best ones in the league, yeah, Sam Surridge, Brian White, a few different guys up there. I think this early start to the season as well has cemented him as number one. And you can make the case that right now, he's the best forward in North America with the way that he's playing. Because I've never seen, I don't say never, but how centric Dallas is to what he does. Every single spot on the field, he is the best player and he is thinking at a higher level than everyone else. It's like he's cracked the code. And we saw that first goal against San Diego. They're trying to play out the back. They should not have tied that game. If they had played smart, they would not have tied that game because they were trying to play out the back. They were doing things that play into exactly what the only way Dallas was going to get a result in that game, because it is just Musa and no one else. And I think everyone in the league should be watching FC Dallas right now to watch Petar Musa, because he is playing at a level of target forward play that we have very rarely seen in this league. And it's so fantastic to watch. Now, on the other hand, Armand, do you think FC Dallas fans should be encouraged by this start? They have one win, one loss, two draws, three of those four games at home. Toronto and Nashville. They beat Toronto. They tied Nashville. They lost 1-0 to LAFC, and then this 3-3 draw against San Diego. Should three tough teams and one kind of bad team that they beat. Should FC Dallas fans be encouraged or discouraged by this start?
If you're an FC Dallas fan, honestly, you might kind of just hate your life because you finally got this star forward that's been. I mean, Daniel, you
I
remember
think
this.
it's the realization. It's the realization, right?
Yes, I mean Daniel, you remember this? Like under Oscar Pereja, when you were at the club at FC Dallas, the one thing everyone was clamoring for was let's get a forward, let's spend off forward. What did Dallas do? They spent on Franco Jara, who ended up being a bust for the club for the money that they spent. You go and you get a guy like Petar Musa. He comes in and he's actually absolutely smashed every expectation you could think of. I mean, I have an article, it's still up there on Backheeled, where I wrote about how there was a lot of risk involved. Well, shame on me. There is no risk involved in this situation with what he's done. If I was an FC Dallas fan, I mean, I'd be happy, but it's kind of one of those things to where, look, you just kind of have to enjoy the moment right now, because you're not, in my opinion, he's gone after a World Cup. He's pushing. Think about this, Daniel. There's a perfect storm of circumstances going on here.
Yes.
Not only is he pushing for a World Cup spot with Croatia, where he has to do double the work probably as someone that's in Europe right now, he's also pushing for a transfer move as well too. Like, I'm not saying he personally is pushing it, but like those things are playing into their hands. And also he's been at the club for 2.5, 3 years now, to where now he's acclimated to the league. You're seeing the potential and a player entering his prime at 28.
Well,
like,
and you have
everything.
If you are FC Dallas this summer, because I believe his contract runs through 2 years, like he has 2 more years on his contract. The team they have a team option. He has 1.5 years left on his deal, and then the team option. Obviously, they're going to pick up that option, right? So they have, and now I do wonder, how do those contracts work with the schedule changing? Like, does his contract run through? So his contract, so he really has what, 1.5 seasons left, or well, not counting this year, he has 1.5 seasons left on his contract, right?
It's a weird situation,
So
but it would end.
If you're FC Dallas, at this summer, he is going to tell you either give me a five-year contract, which is and up my salary.
I bet you that's on the table already.
No,
Daniel.
right. But he has to make the decision as a player to say, hey, my value is never going to be higher than it is right now. And this is nothing against FC Dallas. This is smart agent work, right? They're going to say, my value has never been higher than it is right now. I need a new contract. Or these teams are going to come in. $20 million is going to be, if he scores a goal in the World Cup, $20 million is as fair of an offer as you can, because what did Cucho go for? Pretty similar numbers, right?
Yep.
So they're going to force FC Dallas's hand, because FC Dallas is going to have to decide, do we want to commit $20 million? Because he's going to ask for $3 to $4 million a year for 5 years. Do we want to commit $20 million to him? Or do we want to take $20 million from him, right? What decision are they probably going to take in a stadium that's under construction, in knowing that, hey, next year, the first half of 2027 is kind of a lame duck year, even as it is unlikely to think that FC Dallas will contend for a championship this year. I think it's naive to expect him to be in Dallas after this year. So it's a really tough position for FC Dallas fans of that situation. Petar Musa has of course, he doesn't have any ill will towards FC Dallas. He's not pushing for a move away. It's just common sense that you're going to say, okay, my value has never been higher than it will be this summer. I need a new contract. It's much higher, that you're going to make probably twice as much as FC Dallas has ever paid any player. Or they're going to say, hey, we can get $20 million for this guy and start to build our war chest for a 2027 summer purchase, because they're not going to buy players ahead of whatever they do in this half lame duck season, right? So, like you said, Armand, it's a
Dan,
tough
and I
position.
will
For
say
everybody.
this: I've seen it. Like you put a tweet out that kind of went like about Petar Musa and
Mhm.
stuff, and I think a few fans were kind of going back and forth saying, why would Petar Musa want to leave FC Dallas? He's in a
It's
perfect
not about that.
situation. He's in a perfect situation, et cetera, et cetera. And my thing is, look, like if more money comes in, if your family is in another continent, which I'm assuming most of his family, that if he's from Croatia, most of his family is in Croatia. This gives them like
You're
it's
going to have to
almost
money whip him. If you're FC Dallas, you're
exactly.
going to have to money whip him. And
It's
is that a realistic expectation?
right. Are you going to commit $5-6 million to Petar Musa? Because at the way he's playing right now, he should. That's how much you should be paying him.
And, we think about, and I haven't even thought about this. This is the thought that's just popping into my head. Okay, maybe the biggest worry isn't even Europe. What if Inter Miami? Obviously, Inter Miami's not going to do it this summer. They have Bertrame. But we have seen now MLS teams are willing to pay. How much do they pay for Josh Sargent? $15 million? $12
20
million?
million.
Right. So what is to say if FC Dallas won't double his salary, that LAFC doesn't come in and say, okay, 20 million, done, double your salary, done. We're going to be playing Petar Musa, Heung-min Son, and
That'd
Vin
be deadly,
Luongo.
huh?
Who's to say that couldn't happen, Armand? Well, in keeping of one degree of separation to FC Dallas, Oscar Pareja, the head coach, longtime head coach for Orlando City, he was let go last week. I think, it had been tough. Maybe they should have gone in a different direction this offseason. We talked about the end of a cycle. Maybe it was time for him to go. Obviously, we're all friends of
3 games
Oscar
in
on
to
the
me is
show.
kind of wild, Daniel. I don't
Sorry?
know. 3 games in is kind of wild to
It
me.
is. The decision probably should have been made in the offseason, if we're being honest, but he brought trophies to Orlando. He's still very well liked there. We're not going to talk about that move. What we're going to talk about is, as the seat gets heated up for a few different MLS coaches, Armand, Oscar Pereira, first coach to let go. Who could be next for you among MLS head coaches?
I feel like he's at. I think this guy has the hottest of thrones. Like he's just like his seat's on fire right now, and I'd be worried. It's Phil Neville for me. Look, the Portland Timbers just been
I love
they've
that
been
delivery, by the way. The little cliffhanger.
yeah. Always gotta leave the listeners on or the viewers or however format you're watching this on edge a little bit. I'd be really worried if I was Phil Neville, man. I would be really worried. Look, he hasn't had the like his time in MLS has been in my opinion. Nothing like you had a guy like Evander and you couldn't make the playoffs a couple of years ago. You made the first right. You were the 8th seed again. You're starting off the season. You beat Columbus and then you lose to Colorado. You lose to Vancouver. You lose to Houston.
Not good, man.
And look who you have up next. You have the Galaxy. Okay, whatever.
Not only lost to Houston, but gave up a lead as well.
Yeah, and they lost it late.
Yeah.
But you play the Galaxy next.
They have to win that game.
And then listen to this, Daniel. They go at Vancouver, then
L.
they play LAFC at home.
L.
They go at Minnesota and at San Diego, and then at Salt Lake.
Oof.
Is this
So they're
something that you see
staring.
Phil Neville surviving?
They're staring what, 6 points from their first 10 games, probably straight in the face.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm Phil Neville, my pants are on fire. I'm worried. That loss against Houston was really brutal. It might
Well,
be
they
one of
can't
those
keep
things
they can't keep
where
anyone out of the net.
exact no, and they lost. By the way, they lost against 10 men.
Yeah.
Houston got that red card, that weird challenge where Markanich hit Pantemis in the face. They have the second worst expected goal difference, non-penalty expected goal difference in MLS right now, behind SKC, who has half a roster, and they're getting results.
Hmm.
I don't know if Phil Neville lasts through the San Diego game.
Yeah, you do wonder if they have the Portland ownership. It always comes. It seems like the owner is going to want to have the coach be kind of a buddy towards him, and it's kind of an FC Dallas situation with that, where they're not going to want to bring in kind of the brand name big, a Jim Curtin type who's going to be like, I want all control here. You mentioned they're playing the LA Galaxy next week. That might be a what do they call it in wrestling? Like a loser goes, a loser quits match, a loser gets fired match. We've got Galaxy Portland because I chose Greg Vanney because Armand, I think it's time to have a serious discussion about Greg Vanney if I'm a Galaxy fan. Yeah, he kind of got a free pass for better or for worse last season with no Ricky Puig. Look, they were coming off a championship. You're not going to fire a coach coming off of a championship, of course, because they lost their best player. And obviously no Ricky Puig again. But how many times, how much leash does he get? You're wondering if it's maybe time to hit the reset button on this thing, because how many times can you get up that mountain? The Galaxy lost to Sporting Kansas City this week, and it was a rotated Galaxy team, which why do you need to rotate your squad when you're playing Mount Pleasant, who, by the way, they beat 3-0, but that was a lot closer of a game.
That was a lot more tighter than
it was a lot tighter than it should have been. Joao Klaus, I said, who did I say he was doing? Oh, he was doing his best DeAndre Ayton impression because he had 22 shots and he only got like 2 of them on target. So he was doing his best DeAndre Ayton. But they lose to Sporting, arguably, at least on paper, the worst team in the league. And you look at the body of work. They had a playoff run, but in 5 seasons, the Galaxy have made the playoffs twice. They finished 5th or higher in the table once, 15th or lower 3 times. The other season they made the playoffs, they won like a wild card game against Nashville. Then they lost to LAFC. So they have this one run. When you're watching them, it doesn't really feel like anyone is really that in tune with things. You've got Joao Klaus missing chance after chance after chance. Painsel's not really locked in. Peck is doing his own thing. They're just, Armand, doesn't seem to be a super cohesive plan to what the Galaxy are doing. Is this a segment where we're saying who we think will lose their job? No, that's not what we're saying. I don't think he's going to be the next one to be let go, but it may not be that far off.
The Galaxy, look, they were unimpressive in their first CC win against San Miguelito. They were unimpressive in their win against Mount Pleasant, which I don't know how you can be unimpressive in that result. Like they literally were missing 90% of their roster. Like how
yeah.
But let me ask you this, Daniel. Do you think it's an indictment of Greg Vanney or the roster that's being built? Do you think the roster that's being built is good? Because I think it's fine, but
I think if you're the LA Galaxy, you need to look at hitting a hard reset button, because maybe a Jim Curtin type is the right hire for an LA Galaxy to rebuild control from the top down, right? Like the academy, obviously the Galaxy are always going to have talent, but they don't pass the eye test to me. I've watched multiple of their games this year, and the NYCFC game, they looked like they had some energy, but once NYCFC got some confidence, it was like, okay, Justin Hawk doesn't look like he's really going to do that much. Joao Klaus isn't doing that much. You can't just keep allowing Greg Vanney, though, to get the pass for this, right? Like,
right.
I don't
feels
get
like
it.
It feels like a trend that we're kind of talking about. Cycles ending.
Yeah. Well,
and I think it's my entire cycle ending.
And one name we didn't mention, by the way, the only team in MLS with 0 points is the Philadelphia Union. Do you think Bradley Carnell, after winning Supporter Shield last year, is his seat hot at all?
No, I don't see it. I think they give him 1 year at least. Yeah. I mean, look, the one quick blurb I'll say on the Union is they completely revamped their roster, right? They got rid of a bunch of good vets, and they brought a bunch of young guys. And I don't know why they expected maybe they didn't expect to compete immediately, but you lose Jacob Glesnes, Kai Wagner, Ty Baribo,
huge names.
You got rid of those guys,
right?
And then you replace them with a bunch of younger guys. How?
Yeah, I don't know, man. More time.
Yeah,
this might be the most fun midweek matches of the CONCACAF Champions Cup for the entire competition. There's higher level matches, but it's a March Madness of Triple C this week, right? Because we've got
Hmm.
those 8 quarterfinal second legs between Tuesday. There's 2 games on Tuesday. I believe there's 4 games on Wednesday,
Yeah,
and then
two at
2
10
games.
o'clock. The Seattle, Vancouver, and Toluca, San Diego games overlap.
Yeah, Wednesday is looking like an absolute banger because you've got Toluca, San Diego, you've got Miami, Nashville, you've got America Union, and you've got Sounders, Whitecaps. Like, clear my schedule. I'm locking in Wednesday night. Armand, you can maybe come over for that one.
Mm.
We could
We'll
see
see. We'll
about.
see.
We'll see. But the first thing we want to do, we're gonna have 2 Triple C segments here. First off, which Triple C team that is trailing or trailing by away goals after the first leg is going to turn it around?
I have LAFC.
That's the easy
Yeah,
answer.
but you took the fun one.
That's the easy
You
answer.
took the fun one.
All right, keep going.
I mean, LAFC absolutely dominated Alajuelense in their game. Alajuelense
That
got
goal was shocking. That
that game. I
Alajuelense
mean, it was a
scored.
brilliant strike, and I think, look, they've done it on the road multiple times. LAFC has. I think they'll walk in there, and I'm not saying they're going to dominate, but I think they'll get
You
a.
think they're going to walk in there and boss the game?
I think they'll get a 2-0 result.
Oh, I wish John was on. I wish
Yeah,
John was
John's
on
like,
right
you're
now because
underrating Alajuelense.
he
How
would
dare
say
you?
something about their stadium or some
Yeah,
fun
it's gonna be
fact about,
rocking. He's been
oh,
there like 16
they're not going to
times.
go into Alajuela, Costa Rica.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I like I said, I think it's gonna be a 2-1. No, a
They
2-1 would
need an
have
early
LAFC
goal.
advance.
They need an early goal, man,
Yep.
because
Like
on that turf as well. Don't forget.
exactly. So I mean, but I'm confident in them. I like what LAFC figures out ways to win games. Eustachio had wasn't that Eustachio? It was a Chonrai had, I think, 2
Hmm.
goals, long distance goals against St. Louis. Again, I just kind of believe in LAFC and the way they do
Hmm.
things. I like your answer a little bit more. It's a lot more interesting, and I think it's we've seen this team do it before. In
LAFC.
no,
Oh,
the
okay.
team that you're
Well,
saying.
so the team you're talking about here, my pick actually that I think will turn it around. Uh, it's gonna. I've got Tigres. I think that is the one where Tigres now they have a 3-0 deficit against FC Cincinnati. Remember, they actually did not fly into Cincinnati until the day of the game last week. They didn't turn up, and a Cincy team that I was saying is not in panic mode. Well, they just got beat 6-1 by New England, and they didn't rotate. Like Evander started that game, Miles Robinson, Celentano, they didn't really rotate their squad. They lost 6-1. If Tigres, I cannot wait for this game because if Tigres gets that first goal, gets 1 goal in the first half, we have seen in El Volcan, it gets absolutely crazy. It turns into chaos. And I think Tigres, I would be getting yelled at again by John right now because I said last week that I thought the FC it was way overstating things to say that FC Cincy is in a little bit of a crisis right now. But to me, that is the game where if Tigres gets an early goal, it could get
And
chaotic.
teams shit their pants when it goes to El
Yeah,
Volcan.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
we saw, they overcame a 3-0 deficit in Ligia last year too. Was it
yeah.
against Xolos?
Yeah, they
Xolos
will
jumped
not
out
be
to a
afraid.
3-0 lead, and then Tigres scored 3, and they won. They won on the tiebreaker. Look, I if you're Cincinnati, right, you're coming off getting shellacked 6-1, and then you go into El Volcan where the
Not only
pressure,
that,
you
but in
feel
New
it.
England, way
Yeah,
north.
and you feel it. You feel El
Yeah.
Volcan. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't see Cincinnati surviving this. I think I'm with you. I think I have Tigres advancing out of this. Like
It's kind of crazy to think about, but I mean, remember last year we saw Cincinnati play Tigres, and weren't they? Didn't they? It was 1-1 after the first leg. I believe they scored first in the second leg, and then Tigres scored 3 times to beat them to advance. So it's not like this is something that Tigres has not done to FC Cincinnati. I'm looking right now. I just want to confirm. Yeah, Tigres. It was 1-1 after the first leg. Cincinnati took a 2-1 lead at El Volcan, and then they scored 3 times in the last 20 minutes of the game. So even if this game is 3-0 at halftime on aggregate, I don't think Tigres is going to be scared. The other a couple of other games that we'll talk about some of these here in a second. But in terms of a comeback, do you think Vancouver can come back from 3-0 down on
No,
Seattle?
three away
We
goals is
saw
brutal.
Vancouver score what, 6
But
goals,
three away goals, man. Three away goals is brutal. I mean,
so they have to
essentially,
they probably have to score
they
4
have score. They would have to score four. And it's. I mean,
in
the situation.
Spokane.
Yeah, it's not gonna be easy. Like
One,
I don't see it happening for. I maybe they get one or two.
well, and that game kicks off at 11 p.m. local time. That's going to be rough, man. Put
10.
some coffee on Wednesday night. All right, so staying with Triple C, we talked about the teams that we think can come back, but which game itself are you looking forward to most? And I'll get us started with this one. You've been starting every segment.
Yeah, you've been kicking it off to me, man.
I
I've
need to
just been
take some
receiving.
leads. I sent to the group text. I was not staying up for Toluca San Diego at the first
Mistake.
leg. As good as it was, an 11 or 10:45, I couldn't stay up. I'm promising you, this week I'm staying up for Toluca San Diego second leg because I dropped the ball. I fumbled the bag by not watching that first leg, Armand. I think you watched quite a bit of it. This one does start a little bit earlier, by the way. It's a 9 p.m. Or sorry, 10 p.m. local kickoff instead of 10:30. Toluca trying to turn around that 3-2 deficit. And that game, man, I didn't watch it live, but watching the highlights, San Diego goes down a man. Didn't they go down to 9 men towards the end of the game? But they were able to find 3 goals on Toluca of all teams to take a 3-2 lead. Toluca, though, they know they only got to win. With those 2 goals, they've probably just got to win the game to advance, Armand. Can't wait for this matchup. Can't wait to see. We saw Toluca win a crazy 3-2 game over, I believe it was Cruz Azul, or no, Pumas on the weekend. This game guarantees goals. We saw San Diego tie FC Dallas 3-3. Guaranteed goals in this one. Who do you think is going to come away advancing?
Again, I have the Mexican team advancing this.
It's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be fun.
The big loss. I think Manu Dua is a huge loss.
That's a big loss.
That's a big one. Ingriston, their forward, I'm not really as
they've got pieces.
Okay, like it's fine, whatever. But Dua is a huge loss. I mean, Dua is an amazing center back in my opinion, and I think whoever is going to have to fill his spot, if it was, I can't remember the center back's name who started against FC Dallas. Well, it's McVay, and it would be someone else.
Yeah.
Good luck. I mean, Dua's athleticism and the way he's just a really smart player as well too. He kind of covers up those like mistakes that like San Diego makes.
Sure.
And now that you don't have that anymore, Paulinho's going to feast. I think it was a dumb red card for him to get. I understand why he did it, but like, and I understand like asking a player to have awareness to not block a shot with their arm in a moment where like it's a very split-second decision is a very tall ask. But I'd feel a lot more confident about their chances if they had allowed that goal and Dua was in the lineup. I'm worried. All Toluca needs is a 1-0 win.
I feel like we've doubted San Diego every step of the way, and they've proved us wrong every step of the way. But you have to remember the Pumas match, they were up 4-1 going into that second leg. There was not a lot of pressure, and Pumas is not in the same stratosphere. I would say Pumas is an average MLS team, or maybe a little bit better than average MLS team at this point. We're talking about Toluca here. We're talking about the multi-time champion. We're talking about their stadium being one of the craziest tinderbox atmospheres that we see in Mexico.
And you know Turco Mohamed's gonna go for it, man. Like
I'll put on digital paper right now. I think Toluca's gonna smash them. I think Toluca's gonna beat them by 4. I think that this is a spot that, and by the way, I think any MLS team, apart from maybe LAFC or Miami, I think just about any team going into this scenario without arguably their best, I mean, him and Bombito, but without one of their best center backs, that's a bridge too much. If they can get through this, that would just be absolutely incredible. I'll never
doubt San Diego again.
I'll never doubt him again, Armand. But I know you're looking to a game that was really a dud in the first leg, but it sets up for a great second leg.
Yeah, Miami, Nashville. I mean, basically Nashville has a little bit of the edge because they just need
you think?
Well, like with the away goal tiebreaker going on, if they win 1-0,
okay. Yeah,
and like I don't think I'll be honest, I don't think the home field's is it. I guess technically the last ever game at Chase Stadium.
Potentially, we don't know. I mean, we don't know if that next. Well,
their stadium opens April 4th, so I think
so. It should be. Yeah,
it should be the last ever game. So will Miami send it off with a bang? I mean, they won the World Cup there, the World Cup. They won MLS Cup there.
They
Like
rested Messi. He didn't
they,
play.
he didn't play exactly. They played a
DePaul
bunch of
didn't play.
kids. They played a bunch of kids. So I mean, for both teams rotated. We should see best on best. I'm excited. I think. Look, the conditions last game made it to where it was gonna be a messy affair, and
No pun intended.
yeah, with the rain, with the way that Miami kind of likes to, they've kind of shown this
My
tendency to kind of destroy games basically and be like, we're just gonna, we don't care, we'll slug it
Miami
out.
was happy to take that 0-0 from
Yep,
Nashville.
because Miami knows like, well, they need to win, and that's it, and they're confident in that. Uh, I wonder how Nashville. The thing I'm intrigued by is the tactical step. How is Nashville going to set up? Are they going to set up to kind of hit them on the counter, etc.? I think that puts them a little bit at risk.
I do
Or
too.
are they going to say, "Hey, we're going to play our game like we kind of talked about last time and go for it"? Versus Miami, who's going to play their game. We know that, especially at
Mhm.
home. So I'm excited for that game. I think it should be a fun one. Hopefully, weather doesn't ruin it, which I don't think it will. And yeah, I think
Who's
for
moving
me,
on?
Miami.
Yeah, it's got to be Miami.
Miami. I have Miami
Got to be
2-1.
Miami. Oh,
Messi late goal.
oh. Shifting gears as we wrap things up today, a huge jersey drop in the world of Armand
Huge.
and the world of
The
everyone.
world of U.S. soccer, not just the world of me. Come on.
When you're the host country for a World Cup, your jersey is a huge note. Armand, you are a jersey head. You've already ordered the jersey, an authentic. You can tell us who you got on that in a second. Fans at home, shout out who you think is going to be on the jersey here. Think in your head, and then we'll let you know here in a minute. We'll take a line from Herc Gomez here. Armand, dripping or tripping? What do you think of these World Cup jerseys?
Both are dripping, man. I
Ooh,
am
okay.
shocked at how good they look. The
Wow.
wavy design on the wavy red design on the home kit, I think is an absolute smash hit. It's very Waldo-esque, and people love the Waldos.
Hmm.
I think that's great. And they said in the like I guess in the media releases that came out that they wanted the second kit to be something that they could wear out, like as more of like a lifestyle. I
Exactly.
really like it. It has these like nice stars that kind of
Hmm.
shine out. But I really, really like the home kit, Daniel. It gives the U.S. national team some sort of identity, right? Like the red, the white, the flag stripes. I mean, I think it's
I
great. And I always order a World Cup jersey because actually, to be honest, I sold the World Cup jersey I bought for 2022. A, because it's ugly, and then it was just a white one with the logo, and B, because I bought a size too small because I thought I looked jacked in it, and it looked like it was just stuck onto my body like a morph suit.
hmm
So got rid of that one for like $20. Big loss on it. Don't take stock advice from me, I guess. But I like it, Daniel. I think it's a great fit. I feel like they're gonna wear their home kits almost every game. There might be, I think Peter Welpton was saying there might be one potential clash with Turkey because U.S. is technically the away team in that
Sure.
game.
Okay.
The Turkey might wear their whites and the U.S. might wear the blacks or whatever the jersey is. I like
My
them. I don't know about you.
I like the away jersey, just like you said, and I'm not someone who wears jerseys like for the team a lot. I wear them like as fashion, so I like kind of the more fashionable jerseys. I would never wear that red and white jersey. It's just not my look. It's not.
Oh,
It's
it's that's not that one. Like I think you hit the nail on the head. That one's like I'm going to watch a game,
right. Right.
and the
You're
away
only
one's
wearing that to the
like
game.
yeah, and the away one's like I'm going out.
Well, and the other thing is, and let me preface this by saying I'm someone who freaking hates as a Dallasite. Oh, everything that Dallas teams do, third jersey. Oh, it's Cowboys. It's we live on a ranch. Oh, let's Longhorn everything. Let's we all because we're all farmers, even though we live in a city of 8 million people. Like
Yeah.
that stuff kind of drives me up a wall, and I don't really like the kitschy nature of it, and that's why I don't really like the jersey that is just like the flag type thing. I think it's kind of corny. I get it. It's not aimed for me. It's aimed for different people. It's just not really my choice. Like I'm wearing a US soccer hat right now. This blue hat, this is a US soccer hat. It has the logo on it. This is an official US soccer hat. It doesn't give off, oh, heavy like US national team.
You could
That's
wear that
why
with that away jersey. It looked pretty good.
yeah, no, I think it would. I may have to drip that out because Armand and I are going to the Australia game in Seattle. So if you're going, obviously hit us up. We're going to be enjoying some
We'll
good
buy you a drink.
good times out in Seattle. Yes, a Rainier.
No, I haven't told them what jersey I got, who I got.
Yeah, right. So, who did you choose? Is this the jersey you're going to wear to the game?
Yes, 100%. And I wanted to get a name on the back because Daniel, we've been going to jersey shops all around in Dallas, and I've realized that these kind of actually hold a little bit more value.
They do.
The
Yeah.
ones that, have the names in the back. And also it's cool for nostalgia because it's gonna be the freaking first World Cup game I've ever gone to in my life. So
Mhm.
um I'll tell you decision making behind it and let me know if you
It's a big decision, guys.
it's a big decision. I wanted someone that I can relate with.
Okay.
Or kind of. I want someone that I enjoy playing, and I want someone that's like kind of gritty.
Okay.
So I've played against this player once in my life. I can't hear the drum, but it was a bit
Okay.
of a. I played against him once in my life. I think he's gritty because he's bounced around like 10 different positions, and that's like
Okay.
someone that I associate with because I never had a sole position in soccer. I always kind of just run around, and he's a Dallas native, so I have Weston McKennie on the
There we
back of my
go.
jersey,
Hey,
and
I
he's
love
gonna
it.
also. I mean, he should make the national team. Like,
He
if
should
you're gonna
make
take a
he should
risk,
make the squad.
if you like, there was a
Yes.
Gio Reyna jersey for sale. I mean, dude, go for it, do your thing, but you are totally taking a big risk with that. Like,
Yeah, you can't show up to the party wearing a jersey of a player that's not even on the team. So
exactly. You'd have to get that ironed off, and then you'd have to go find it. Yeah, I don't want to deal with that. I'm going Weston McKennie. The second choice is Pulisic.
okay, so I'm gonna wrap this up though with actually a soccer question. We're gonna talk. I mean, by next week we should have the U.S. roster for the camp in Atlanta, which you're going to both of the games. Super excited for that. I did a podcast with Tyler Kern, a friend of the show, recently. The Sunset Soccer Hour, I believe, is
Yep.
called. So stay
Soccer
tuned.
Club, Sunset Soccer Club.
Sunset Soccer Club. Stay tuned. We're talking everything U.S. national team roster, and one of the things that came up was Weston McKennie, Armand. 1 minute answer max because we got to wrap. What is his position on the national team in the World Cup?
Attacking mid next to Pulisic.
So like a
Like,
so
so
you
like you
got
have
two
Balogun
behind
up
him,
top, and the in that back three, you have Balogun up top, you have Pulisic, and then you have McKennie. And
and
then
then two
McKennie can also
midfielders behind him.
and McKennie can act as a second striker if he needs to with how advanced he is. He can drop back. You allow him to be a lot more versatile in that position. So for me, you have him as that 10 that can almost act as a second striker, win balls, kind of feed Balogun, etc.
Okay. I think we might see him at outside back even in that right wing back role that he's been
Crazy,
playing for
huh?
Juventus some, but we'll see. We'll see. We've got so much time to talk about all of that. Thank you guys for listening. Enjoy CONCACAF Champions Cup this week, and we will catch you next week on the Hex.